experiencing some theatre. Dr. Rama Mani, who was the founder of the Theatre of Transformation, said, "True art, like true humanity, is born out of personal and collective crisis, out of strength that emerges from suffering, out of the power that emerges from pain. This is what makes art transformative. This is what makes us fully human." We have performing for us today 3 students who are studying at the Geneva Academy for Human Rights and who are stewards of the Theatre of Transformation Academy. We have Tafadzwa Christmas from Zimbabwe. He's a transitional justice expert, human rights lawyer, and specialises in litigating torture cases. We have Eunice Yuko from Kenya. She's a former transitional justice and human rights officer for Refugee Law Project Uganda. And we have Nipunika Lekamwasam from Sri Lanka. She's a former research coordinator at the Sark Cultural Centre and a writer and editor.
In the world of ruins, I wander amongst the cacophony of empty vessels. Where once there used to be a sky and a home, now there is none. There is also not a part of me. For I was the happy child of spring with my friends in warm lit homes. Now there is none. Although it has rained much to drown me, it has not rained enough to wash away who I am. So like sunsets of a widowed evening, in new homes and in new cities, in your arms and his, hope in its little light is born. I do not know much about belonging now. Something happens to men who claim. I believe they all die. I live with what the world calls hope. For tonight, it is my home in the ruins, amidst wandering, amidst wandering, amidst wandering.
I will never forget July 10th, 1986, when the government soldiers camped at my homestead in Gulu. They said that I was a father to the rebels and that they wanted to teach me a lesson. They raped me and also raped my wife. My wife was 6 months pregnant. She had a miscarriage and lost the kids. 2 months later, she also died. I was left alone, lost in this world. I tried to narrate my ordeal to the government officials, but they could not hear of it. But still, I refused to remain silent. I refused to remain in the dark. And today, I'm no longer a victim. I'm a survivor and an activist for male survivors of rape. Today, I am no longer empty. I am full of potential. And I am a leader.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for this Community Human Rights Defenders Award. I'm so happy to be with you today, but my heart is heavy because I stand before you without my friend. My friend, Crispin Chinjeke, who is no longer with us, but who lives on through my story, which is our story. My name is Weston Katio. I come from Zimbabwe, in a village which very few of you know about. I'm 57 years old. They dragged me from my house together with my friend and took us to a torture base where they beat us up and called us traitors because we dared to vote. They left my friend with me, and for 3 days I tried to wake him up. Crispin! 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 But he did not wake up. For 3 days, I spent 3 nights with the dead body of my friend. When I managed to escape and I got home, my wife told me to stop everything to do with community activism. And I said I would never again work for my community. But when I lay down to sleep, each and every night Crispin would come and would ask me this question: Weston, is this how our story is going to end? Is this how our story is going to end? Are we going to end up as victims? Is this how our story is going to end? So one morning I got up, I got the bus and I went to the town called Harare. I looked around for lawyers until I could find one. And I told them my story. And they warned me, they said it would take a lot of time for us to be able to get justice. And I told them I was prepared to take all the time in the world for my friend to get justice and for me to get justice. Today I stand before you holding this award because we've managed to not only get justice for myself, but I've also managed to get justice for my friend. So what I want to say to you is, even if I will cease to exist because I've breathed my last, my friend and I will continue to live on through our story. Thank you so much.
My name is Edouard. I am from Rwanda. When I was 8 years old, I saw them chop off the head of a man in my hospital room in front of my eyes. Then they killed his son. That was the day I wrote my first poem. In it, I asked my Hutu family, our neighbors, why? Why did you kill them? Aren't you ashamed? As I am. I kept writing poems. The president invited me to share my story and to recite my poem on the National Day of Reconciliation. Every one of my poems sows a seed for reconciliation.
My name is Munira. I am from Afghanistan. I also took a peace building course with GCSP in Baku. I work for the government, for the Ministry of Internal Governance to build our country. But I am also an artist. We have created a women artist collaborative. My favorite project is with our street children. I go to them one by one and I ask them, what is your name? What is your creative gift? What is your dream for your life and for our country? And then I give them paper and colors so they can paint their dream, so their future will not be like the future of the Taliban. My name is Ashmina Ranjit from Nepal. In the beginning, we artists thought, what can we do to contribute to the conflict and the peace building in our country? We were just watching all the activists from outside. But one day we realized, how can there be peaceful change without us artists? That is when I realized I'm not an artist, I am an artivist. That day, we all got together and went to the streets, the poets, the storytellers, the painters, together with the politicians, the diplomats, and together with all the people of all backgrounds, all religions, all tribes. We joined the Jan Andolan, the People's Revolution, and we ended the monarchy. We negotiated peace in our country and started the long dance to build peace. Thank you. We're just going to introduce ourselves for a second. Yes, please.
I'm Nipunika Lekamvasam from Sri Lanka, and I have been involved at the policy level for a regional organization that worked on cultural diplomacy and reconciliation, where we did policies to effect change. But what I have realized since I was exposed to the theater of transformation is that there is a breakdown of dialogue between the policy level and the grassroots, where the actual concerns are. Because of this breakdown, sometimes the change we envision and the transformation we want to enact they are not effective because we do not actually witness what is happening at the grassroots level. So my poem was basically about hope, was done in collaboration with an Indian colleague of mine, which is important because South Asia is one of the most disintegrated regions in the world where dialogue is minimum, and because of interstate and intrastate conflicts. So for me, the theater of transformation is important in the sense that it humanizes the experiences we have at the policy level.
I am Unisoko from Kenya, and I have worked with victims and survivors of conflict in northern Uganda on issues to do with identity, justice, and belonging. And my vision is to empower victims so that they transcend their victimhood and become agents of change. And for me, theater of transformation is a way in which victims can be able to find their path from victimhood to agents of change through witnessing what is and awakening what can be, and also through envisioning change and enacting transformation. Thank you.
My name is Tafazo Christmas. I am a lawyer from Zimbabwe. I've been working with victims of organized violence and torture in my country for over 7 years. The story that I shared with you, is the story of one of my clients. It's one of several people who, like him, have suffered harm at the hands of various political groups. These people are people who are not glamorous enough to be named. They are, most of the time, we just write them in reports as figures. 22% of people have been tortured. These people are not popular enough for us to put their names somewhere for us to have the commemorations built up for them. But their harm is very, very real. So for me, the theater of transformation is about, first of all, tapping into our own humanity and recognizing and realizing that we are human beings first and foremost, and also realizing that the people that we seek to help, in as much as they require our expertise as lawyers, as counselors, and as different experts, what they really require and they search for is core humans. They are looking for other human beings to make them feel human again. Because the perpetrators, when they assaulted them, they did not only seek to harm them in terms of their mortal bodies, but they also sought the social death of the victims. So the theater of transformation is all about trying to tap into our humanity and using our humanity to reassure survivors that they are part of society. And it is this humanity that we can create a better society. Because without humanity, human beings might continue to roam the face of this earth, but humanity will be extinct.
Wow, thank you. You've all clearly done some amazing work, and it's work that needs to continue. So we wish you every success and great courage in going forward. Hashtag Media Arts Peace. These stories need to be shared. Thank you.
Beautiful. And while we move these things out for our panel, we had one question to ask you that you might want to just ask yourself first. What is your creative gift that you would like to now bring into your work? And while we get the people on the table, you could whisper it to your friend next.